Okay, next we'll talk about Clemson. Clemson, their win total is either 9 or 9.5, depending where you look. Dabo Swinney back as head coach. They got Garrett Riley in his second season there. Wes Goodwin, the defensive coordinator. Cade Klubnik returns at quarterback. We'll talk about more players than just him. Is it fair to say that a huge chunk of their season comes down to what Cade Klubnik do we get?
Okay, that's the same question we asked last year, though.
Yeah,
Like
true.
that was the question that we asked last year with, and how does that work with Riley there as the OC? We were
Mhm.
jacked about it last year. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm going under on Clemson.
Okay.
This is not an indictment really against them personally. Well, maybe it is. I've been burned by Clemson. I was all in on them last year. I thought it was going to work. I thought they made a bold hire, but for them to see what they saw and see how college football changed and to still not take any portal additions at all this entire offseason after everyone knew that, like, guys, y'all really need to add a few would help a lot. He's still refusing to do it. So yeah, why am I supposed to take the over on that? Like, I understand. Yeah, the schedule's not terrible for an SEC schedule. They're non-con. They start with Georgia at a neutral site in. Yeah, I mean that's a loss. Like, they're not going to win that football game, and I think they're going to lose to Florida State as well. So pretty much what I'm betting on is, are they going to be able to run the table everywhere else? And I'm not betting on it. I think they trip up to NC State. So I do think there's a few losses there. I also think Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech in November could be dicey. I think that's a borderline coin flip game for them. Clemson was hot to finish out the year last year. I understand that. It's the lack of ability to change is bothering me. Like, I don't think Garrett Riley has full command of that offense. I think he's kind of reined in a little bit, and that's problematic for me if I want to bet on Clemson. So I'm going to take the under. Um, yeah, I feel decent about it. I don't believe in Klubnik yet, not with what I've seen. I in my opinion, honestly, I think there's probably another quarterback on that roster that gives them a better chance to win just week in, week out. Just a more complete player. His decision making is questionable at times. I'm talking about Klubnik. The decision making, he seems to always be pulling it when he should give it, and vice versa. He gives it when he should be pulling it, like on his zone reads. He just makes terrible decisions regularly. So yeah, I'm gonna go under. Am I a hater? Does that make me a hater, or am I just frustrated by losing money on them?
No, I understand it. I'm with you on Klubnik. I'm maybe not quite as down on him as you are. I don't trust him. I really don't. And the other part of their team that I don't love is their interior offensive line. I think their tackles are pretty decent.
Right.
Um, they're still not sure who their center is going to be. Yeah, like some of the interior offensive line is not great. That's maybe where some portal help would have been great.
Yes.
But now here's the but. I like their running back, Phil Maffa. I like their
Yep.
tight end, Jake Brenningstool. I
Hmm.
think their wide receiver room actually has a lot of talent.
They're
They
good.
had a
They're good at receiver. They
they had a
are.
lot of injuries there last year.
Yep.
They're bringing back some talented kids, and they're bringing in two really talented freshmen who they think can contribute from day one.
Yep.
Um, and if you're looking
Yeah.
at their defense, I mean, I know they lost five guys to the draft, but they're still very good at all levels of the defense. Maybe the best linebacker in the country. Some really good secondary players. They're good at corner. Again, despite losing talented players there, um, this is going to be a really good defense. I think the second year under Garrett Riley makes a difference. Like I think he's probably keeps things pretty simple for Klubnik.
Mhm.
They ended last season winning their last five games, including wins against Notre Dame, South Carolina, and Kentucky. Um,
Yes.
I, I like this team. I actually think they have I don't know, a 35% chance of winning the ACC, which sounds low, I know, but like I think they are right behind Florida State as basically a co-favorite and give Miami a little bit of a shot. And you got to get the field just a hair of a shot too. But like I
Hmm.
think they are clearly in the top tier of the ACC with Florida State. And I don't even think I would include Miami there. right now. I think this defense is excellent. Wes Goodwin has done a good job there, and I think the second year under Garrett Riley will make a difference. I'm with you. Playing Georgia, playing at Florida State, that's tough.
Right.
NC State, Louisville, those are both at home. They go to Virginia Tech. Those are the next three toughest games.
Right.
I think they're a clear favorite in all three of those.
Hmm.
And I think 9-3 is their floor. And with a 9 out there, I'm taking the over on 9.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it, but I do think, and we can get into Miami here in a little bit, but I mean, that's a Miami football team that beat Clemson soundly last year. I mean, Miami was the better football team when they played last year.
Yeah.
And then Clemson got on a little run where they beat, you mentioned South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky. They beat Notre Dame, I think, on that stretch as well. Like they had a nice little they clicked off a few nice wins there. Um, yeah, so
It
it
was double
was.
overtime against Miami, by the way. It wasn't like a sound defeat, but it was, yeah, you're right. They did lose.
Oh, sorry, you're talking the Clemson Miami game. Yes, yeah,
Wasn't it?
no,
I could be
yeah,
wrong.
no, it
I'm not
was. It was
sure.
in overtime. It was in single overtime. But yeah,
Okay.
you're right. It was
All right.
28-20 in overtime, and that was when Klubnik, I think he gave the ball on, or no, he kept it on like a 4th and 2, and like
Oh,
went running to
yeah,
the
that's
sideline and
right.
just had no shot. Like he didn't even get close with
Yeah.
it. And maybe I'm a little jaded from watching too many of those things, but I bet on Clemson last year. Like I really was a believer in him in them. So I'm gonna penalize him. Like, yeah, I
Sure.
guess, yeah, fool me once, it's shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, type of thing. I'm gonna learn from my mistakes this year and bet against him. I don't think that Garrett Riley has the full reign of the offense. I don't.
Mm.
I think the brakes are put on. I think he's only allowed to call a certain amount of plays, and I'd like to see them use tempo more too.
Hmm.
I'm a little discouraged with how slow and methodical they move on offense. I thought Riley was going to come in and speed things up. That's how Clemson, when they were clicking, they had the ability to speed up and keep people off balance. And right now it's just they don't have that. Like that's been gone for years now at this point,
Hmm.
for Clemson. I think any Clemson fan would tell you like that's when we were at our best, is when we had the ability to go quick. And it's not there right now. It's lacking. So yeah, I'm confident in my under. I'd be I'd be willing to bet on this myself personally. Like I
Sure.
could take
Okay.
the under on 9.5.
All right. We disagree.